everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I plan to read by the end of this year. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about all of the books that I plan to read, but I am going to hit on most of them. I have a lot of different goals for cranking through my TBR by the end of the year. I set actual TBRs for each month, which I usually don't do, and I have a lot of videos planned that I'll be using these books for. I just wanted to give you a little preview of what you can expect to see on my channel for the rest of the year, the types of books I'm going to be reading for the rest of the year, and some of the videos that I have planned. I will also say the birds are just so loud this morning, so if you can hear them, I hope it's enjoyable to you. And additionally, one of the fire detector, smoke detector things is low on battery, and it's not in our apartment, it is like out in the hallway. And so if you hear that chirping too, sorry, it's just gonna be a louder video today. So I'm just gonna go month by month and talk about some of my reading plans. So we can start with October. So right now I am reading Mirrorland by Carol Johnston. One of my goals by the end of the year is to read all the books that have been gifted to me, either by friends or publishers or family members or whatever. And this was gifted to me by Jacqueline. And so this is a book that I'm currently reading and I'm about halfway through, so I'll probably finish it up pretty quickly. But this is a mystery, suspense, thriller type story about these two twin sisters who, when they were younger, they really lived in their imagination. And they had this place in their home that they called Mirrorland, which is where they went on all their grand adventures and had pirate adventures, and they were just very imaginative children. Now in the present, they're all grown up and one of these sisters goes missing. They've also been estranged from each other for some time and you don't know why. And some people think the sister must be dead because she got lost at sea, but she doesn't believe her sister is really dead, especially because she keeps finding all these clues that it seems like her sister left behind for her to be able to figure something out. It's kind of interesting. It feels like something I've never read before, but it also feels kind of familiar. So I don't know, we'll see how I feel about this one. And then I also want to read Ghosts of Harvard by Francesca Saratella by the end of October, just because it looks like a good spooky October read. I read the first chapter of this one for the last time that I did a try chapter book tag, and I really liked it. I think I'm really gonna enjoy this book. It just intimidates me because it is a little bit longer, and so I've had it for a long time. One of my friends on Bookstagram recommended this book. It's like her favorite book ever, and so I really do want to read it, and I'm trying to get to it by the end of October. We'll see if that actually happens. But this is a story about this girl whose brother, I believe, killed himself when he was at college, and so now she is going to that college to kind of retrace his footsteps and figure out what happened to him. And so it has like a dark academia feel to it. It's very spooky, it's very emotional, and the first chapter was great, so I'm excited to see how the rest of the book goes. And then the rest of my reading plans for October are for the Camp Weekendween readathon that is happening the last weekend of October. That's being hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads and Olivia from Olivia Reads Latte, and so I have a couple books planned for that. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all three of these, but it's my hopes, so we'll see if it happens. I didn't really follow the prompts, all of them. I'm just reading spooky short things for the weekend. So the first one I have is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna McGuire. This is the second book in the Wayward Children series. I just recently read the first book a month or two ago and I really enjoyed it. And this also is part of my challenge to read all the books gifted to me, because this was gifted to me from my friend Hannah at Hannah's Recent Reads. And so I'm very, very excited to check this one out. I read the first book in the series like all in one sitting for I think the Thousand Doors readathon, and so I just knew this would be a good one to do for the weekend readathon. I don't know if it's going to be spooky. It looks a little spooky. If it's not super spooky, I don't even care. I just really want to read it. And then I also have The Fisherman by John Langan. This was gifted to me by one of my friends last Christmas, and it's almost Christmas again, and so I really need to read this. This is a horror story about these two guys who go out fishing. They're both widowers and they really love to fish together, and they're at a creepy creek. There's dark secrets, mysterious figures. I don't really know. Sounds like a haunting story. I've heard really good things about this actually. I've seen really good reviews, and this one has like a greenish cover, which is one of the props for the readathon, so at least I'm hitting on that. And then the third book I have is a new book that just came out called This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. I haven't heard anything about this yet, so I'm excited to check it out, but it has a bit of a sci-fi element to it. It's about this couple who buys this thing called Itza, which is the world's most advanced smart speaker. So it's kind of like an Alexa device, I guess. And then one of them ends up killed and the other one's world becomes unbearable. And it's said to be a darkly funny horror novel about grief and rage, the loneliness of living between cultures, and the all too real oppressive intimacy of technology. And I love dark comedy style horror, so I think I'll really like this. It sounds a little bit like a Black Mirror type episode, and so I'm hoping that I can get to this for the readathon as well. So that will be it for the rest of my October reading plans. When I'm filming this, it's October 25th, so I mean, I'm squeezing like a lot in here at the last minute. So now we can jump on into my November reading plans. So the first book that I know I want to get to for November is a classic, and it is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. So I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with one of my friends. We have wanted to read this together since like the spring of this year, and we just keep putting it off each month. It's probably mostly my fault because I just never make time for this book, but we're doing it. November is the month that is happening. I really want to vlog my experience reading this for the first time and watching the movie because I haven't seen the movie. I literally know nothing about the story. I only own this book because it's a beautiful copy and I was slightly interested in it. So I don't know if I'm gonna love it. I do really like Pride and Prejudice, and so I feel like there's a good chance that I would like something like this too. I don't really know, but we're gonna read it together. I'm gonna vlog it. I'm gonna watch the movie. It's gonna be a good time. This is definitely happening in November. And then I also just want to spend a lot of November reading some of my most anticipated books for this year so that I'm able to read them before the year is actually up. So one of those is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I was obsessed with The House of the Cerulean Sea last year, and so I really think I'm gonna love this too. It sounds so charming and witty, and I've heard really good reviews for it, and I just need something that's gonna make me cry in November, and I feel like this is gonna be it. It's gonna be very cathartic and very much looking forward to it. I don't know all the details of what the story is about, but it says it is a life and death love story between a man who lives to help the dead and a man who died, then learned to live. It has something to do with like a ferryman who's ferrying people between life and death, I believe. I don't know. It sounds emotional. I'm here for it. I'm very ready to cry. Another one of the books that I'm really anticipating this year is Hummingbird Salamander by Jeff Vandermeer. I've never read from this author before, so this could be a hit or miss. It's also like a sci-fi thriller, which could be a hit or miss, but it sounds incredibly interesting. It's shorter than I expected it to be, and so I really do want to check this out by the end of the year because it does have potential to be a favorite of mine because it's like a really great mix of all the things that I like in books. I'm not even going to try to take the time to explain exactly what's going on here because it is kind of complex, but essentially it is a thriller with dark conspiracies, endangered species, and the possible end of all things, which is just such a good combination of what I love. I love thrillers, I love speculative stuff, I love environmental fiction, especially if it's to do with climate change, and so I think I'm really gonna enjoy this one. At least I hope I do. Then I have a book that all of you keep telling me to read. Like, my comments are blowing up with people asking me if I've read this book yet. I have never had a book so strongly recommended to me as much as this book is, and do not worry, it has been on my TBR. I've been planning to read it. It's just been on the plans for November, so it's coming up very soon. And that is In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This is a thriller that everybody is raving about. I have only heard amazing things. I've literally never had a book recommended to me as much as this one is, and so I feel like I'm gonna love it. Also, the Late Night Book Club, I believe this is their book club choice pick for November, so that's good timing. It's not why I held off. I just haven't read this yet because October was such a crazy month for my reading. I wanted to get so many spooky books read, and I had video plans, and it was just a very busy month, and so I just knew I was going to read this in November. I'm really, really excited to check it out. It has some dark academia vibes. I think it has like a group of friends who something bad happened a long time ago, now they're coming back together, but you guys probably know better than me because you keep telling me to read it, so I'm gonna check it out and hopefully I love it. And then another one of the books that I really wanted to get to by the end of the year is Miss March by Virginia Fato. To be honest, couldn't tell you what this book's about. I just saw the cover and I thought it looked incredible when I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and so I automatically picked it up. It is an explosive debut novel that flips the New York literary scene on its pretentious head, and I've had really great success with literary thrillers this year, like that take place in the publishing world. Who is Maud Dixon was one of my favorite thrillers this year, and so I really think this could be a favorite book of the year, which is why I definitely want to read it by the end of this year. It's also very short, so I feel like it'll be a quick read. And I think what I'm planning to do is try, if I can, to do a reading vlog where I read some of these most anticipated books, so maybe all of them, maybe just a selection of them, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try to do a video reading some of these because I really like it when I end up doing reading vlogs that capture my experience reading some of my favorite books, and I think these have the potential to be some of my favorite books, so I'm really gonna try to vlog it if I can. And then finally, just a couple other books that I have slated for November are A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. I believe this is going to be a series. If it's not gonna be like a series sequentially telling the same story, then I think it's going to be like related stories. I'm really not sure. But I read from Alex E. Harrow earlier this year, or maybe last year. It was The Once and Future Witches, and I really liked her writing style. The book was just too long to be immersed in such rich writing. And so I think I'm gonna have a lot more success with a much shorter version of her storytelling. And I also think this has a lot of photos in it, and it's just really cool the way it's illustrated throughout. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it'll be very atmospheric and perfect for November. And I believe this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. I don't know what the kind of twist on the tropes are. Don't really want to know since it's so short. Just gonna go into it and be surprised. And then I have these two books that I thought about doing a reading vlog for, and I wanted to do a video just reading really weird, absurd books. But then literally yesterday, Kayla from Books and Lala posted a reading vlog reading weird books, and both of these were included in that video, and she didn't really like either of them. And so now I'm like, ugh, I probably won't like them either because our tastes are usually pretty similar, especially for like weird or speculative things. And I don't really want to do a video where I'm not going to enjoy the books, or like what if I want to DNF these books and then the video completely falls apart. So I'm probably not going to vlog these, but I do want to read both of them. So it's Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder, which is about a woman turning into a dog. It's a story about motherhood and her just really struggling. And then A Touch of Jen by Beth Morgan, which is about obsession. I don't know, maybe I will actually like these. Maybe I'll be surprised, especially with lowered expectations. I did read a little bit of Night Bitch when I first got it. I read like the first 2 pages or so, and I was like, oh god, this writing style, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. But I was really excited for A Touch of Jen because Carmen Maria Machado blurbed it and loved it, and I love Carmen Maria Machado. Oh my gosh, and actually, Carmen Maria Machado also blurbed Night Bitch. So then I could do this like reading Carmen Maria Machado's recommendations, but what if I hate them? And then I don't want it to seem like I hate Carmen Maria Machado's recommendations. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll try to vlog it, but if it goes terribly, then I'll just scrap it, but I'll have footage just in case. Let me know if you have thoughts. Okay, so that's most of my plans for November. Also in November, I'm not doing NaNoWriMo per se, but I'm kind of doing NaNoWriMo. I'm not like forcing myself to try to reach 80,000 words and like write a whole novel in November, but I am starting to work on an idea. And so I do want to be doing more writing in November and aim to get like, I don't know, at least like 20,000 words done in the month. I feel like that's a very achievable amount. And so my reading might take a little bit of a back burner position for November, which may affect how much of this I actually get to. So keep that in mind. Okay, so now we can move on to my December reading plans, which is mostly just wrapping up reading the books that have been gifted to me, but there's also a couple more. So one of the things that I want to try out doing in December is reading some cozy mysteries or like murder mysteries. Not necessarily cozy mysteries in terms of like the, what do you call that? Like the mass market paperbacks with the recipes and things like that. Like not that side of cozy mysteries, but just some like classic mystery feeling stories. And so I actually was also gonna do a video on this, but then Meg with Books literally just posted a vlog reading murder mysteries, and these 2 books were included. So I don't know if I'm like reading other booktubers' minds or what's happening out here, but yeah, I just thought that was such a weird coincidence. But the ones that I have here are Marion Lane and the Midnight Murder by T.A. Wilberg. I read the first chapter of this one for that same tri-chapter book tag video that I did before, and I really liked it. Just a classic murder mystery. Someone is murdered, it's a mystery. Who did it? It also follows like the underground society of London and this like group of people who I think fight crime, so that just seemed really cool. And then The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, which is I believe about a group of seniors, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, it's about these seniors in a retirement village who like to talk about unsolved crimes together, and then I think they end up getting pulled into an ongoing mystery and try to solve it themselves. So it sounds very much like Only Murders in the Building type vibes, which I'm loving that show right now too. And so So definitely super excited for this one. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing a video of reading these or not. I don't know. I haven't seen Meg's video yet, so I don't know if it would be weird. I also don't know if she loved these or not, so I don't have her opinion. And I'm like, do I want to know before going into them, or do I want to be unbiased? I have no idea. But I have another kind of murder mystery with a cozy vibe that is also on my list for December. This one was gifted to me, and so that's why it's like part of the December reading pile, but it also could go along with those books. And it's Meg's favorite book probably ever, and that is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. So now I'm seeing a world where I could read her book recommendations, but I don't know if she liked those yet or not because I haven't seen her video yet. But if she liked them, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Do you see how this works? I just like am planning things on the fly. This is why I don't do TBRs, because it could all change at any given moment. But I do really want to get to this book. Meg loves this book. This is like her favorite cozy murder mystery, and this is a series, and so the first book is rather short. The next ones get really long, so I only have this one so far because I want to make sure I like it before diving into the series. But this follows a group of women from classic horror and mystery stories, and they all get together, and I don't really know what they do. Do they fight crime? Do they solve mysteries? I'm not really sure, but it sounds really cool. It sounds like something I'd enjoy, and so I definitely want to get to this one in December as well. And then the last 4 books are all ones that were gifted to me. So we have Dream Girl by Laura Lippman, which is a thriller that I haven't heard the best reviews about. I really haven't seen that many people read it, but the ones that I have seen read it don't love it, so I'm a little bit nervous. I also have Faye Far Away by Helen Fisher, which I think could be one of my favorite books of the year. It sounds just like a really beautiful story with all the elements that I love in stories. It's about a woman who travels back in time, and so she gets to meet her mother's younger self, but also her own younger self, and it just sounds so beautiful. I like already cry thinking about it, so I really want to see if this could be a favorite of the year. Then I have Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, which I started once before, but I was not in the mood for it, and so I knew I needed to put it off for a time when I really wanted to spend more time in a slow, atmospheric, gothic type book. So I think December is going to be the perfect time for that. This has something to do with this school for girls, and it's like a story within a story, I think, because there's girls putting on a movie or a play of something that happened here many years ago. I don't fully understand, but it's a longer book, and so I really wanted to save it for December. And then another long book that I have saved for December is Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. I've read a lot of Leanne Moriarty's stuff, especially many years ago. I used to read her stuff a lot more, and I really liked her stories. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I always thought they were fun, and so I haven't heard the best reviews for this one, but I still do want to check it out. I've just heard it's slower paced, which of course it is if it's this long, but maybe I'll actually like it. You never know till you give it a try. So that is all I had prepared for you today. I have so many books just sitting around me now, and now I'm getting a little stressed thinking about how quickly the end of the year is approaching, but these are the books that I hope to get to. I think some of my favorites of the year could be in here. I'm excited about some of the videos I could make from these books, so let me know which ones you're most interested in, which ones you definitely want to see in reading vlogs, which ones you'll be reading too, and let me know if there are any other books that are on your end of the year TBR that you think I should maybe prioritize. I really like to use the last couple months of the year to really try to find the favorites of the year, so if there's something that is like your favorite book of 2021 and you really think it could be my favorite book of the year too, definitely let me know because I am on the hunt for more favorites. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!